Hello, I decided to make part 2 of the October 11th daily reflection reading. I forget if I said this, for October 11th, 2025. It's called Self-Restraint. Our first objective will be the development of self-restraint. That's from the 12 by 12 book found on page 91. My drive to work provides me with an opportunity for self-examination. One day while making this trip, I began to review my progress in sobriety and was not happy with what I saw. I hoped that as the workday progressed, I would forget these troublesome thoughts, but as one disappointment after another kept coming, my discontent only increased, and the pressures within me kept mounting. I retreated to an isolated table in the lounge and asked myself how I could make the most of the rest of my day. In the past, when things went wrong, I instinctively wanted to fight back. But during the short time I had been trying to live the AA program, I had learned to step back and take a look at myself. I recognized that although I was not the person I wanted to be, I had learned to not react in my old ways. Those old patterns of behavior only brought sorrow and hurt to me and to others. I returned to my workstation, determined to make the day a productive one, thanking God for the chance to make progress that day. Period. The end of the reading. So I got to yakking about just a bunch of stuff loosely connected to self-restraint and instant gratification. And I got tangled up in our ability as the recovering alcoholic to see any positive progress, maybe forgetting that a watchword or some kind of, this book, maybe not in length, because I don't read this book enough. This is the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Only this is a slightly more portable version of it, so it's a bit smaller. It says that something we're after in recovery is spiritual progress, not perfection. So step back, take a look, and find that maybe you don't like where you're at. It's hard for us to measure that accurately, and then I got tangled up in this thing that, say on Family Day in treatment, after 6 weeks of being sober, and a family member sees you, it's like, wow, it's like a brand new person with a lot of different changes that maybe they had never thought was ever going to occur. And as the person actually making those changes, it's very difficult to understand the impact that has and how much you actually have changed. So we can be very self-critical upon ourselves and just gloss over the fact that in the short time learning to step back, this person did something nice and correct or well here. I recognize that although I was not the person I wanted to be, which is difficult to see this, here's the key thing. I think they had learned to not react in my old ways. So they're making some kind of, hopefully a positive change by not reacting in the old ways that were hurtful, sorrowful, because those old patterns of behavior only brought sorrow and hurt to me and to others. So, self-restraint and instant gratification. I think I said in part 1, if we can leave the perceived need for instant gratification at the door of whatever room we're entering, say if it's going into treatment, you're going to be there for quite a while. If it's going to be successful, it's going to be a week or 2 or a month or 3 months or 2 months. Typically they're somewhere 28 to 45 days in my experience. So I just call it 2 months, 60 days, 8 weeks. At say 75%, 6 weeks in, the family gets a chance to take a look at the patient, their loved one, and wow, it makes a serious impact. And maybe we couldn't even see it yet in ourselves. And anyhow, what did it say at the very ending here? Determined to make the day a productive one, thanking God for the chance to make progress that day. So that can be very helpful. And it took me quite a while to understand this, or to practice any kind of way of this thinking, that although I'm not where I wanted to be or thought I should be by now, I have changed. And at least I recognize that I'm not where I want to be, so there's still more work to be done. That indicates I have a desire to do the work. It doesn't mean I'm actually going to do the work, but I have some desire to want to try and feel better or get better, make some improvements in some way. And this is all, it's like, rather than going back to drinking, because that's always been my greatest fear, and that's been a problem for me. I get to feeling like this isn't happening well enough, quick enough. Forget it. I'm going back to drinking, because that's easier to deal with those, whatever. It's just easier to go back to drinking. When I actually know it isn't, because I'm an alcoholic, and my alcoholism has progressed to a point that I don't want to go back to the drinking, because of just what I just said. Sure, it'll have difficulties, but they're not that bad because I'll be drinking, maybe, is one justification, and I know better than that by now. There's a threat of imminent death the next time I start drinking, because I don't know when I'm going to actually stop that period of drinking. It might be in 15 seconds, just throw back a shot and then be done. I highly doubt it. I don't know, because then the next day I might come back and drink a pitcher of beer, and another, and another, and another, till I'm dead, say. Because that's the way I used to drink, and I don't want to go back there. It's frightening, it's scary, it's painful, it's a lot of bad negative stuff there. So that isn't the easier way to get drunk and forget about it. Try and forget about it. I need to do the work these days. When this reviewing the progress, not happy with what I see, that means I need to do more work. I hope that as the day progressed, I would forget these troublesome thoughts. But, as life is, sometimes, one disappointment after another kept coming. My discontent only increased, pushing me maybe to become even more thirsty for alcohol. And the pressures kept mounting. So this is like, this person's on the way to somewhere, they've got some free time in their brain to take a look at where they're at, how far they have spiritually progressed, say. And they find, this is how it worked for me, I found one tiny little thing, say. And I'm like, see, this isn't working, and then I want to drink. Whereas like the family member, it's like, wow, you're like a brand new person. You've changed so much. There's at least two things they see. I can't get beyond the first thing that I see, and I just like, this isn't working. And there's probably at least 8, 9, 10, 100 other things that have changed. Physically, people just start to look better after you quit drinking a fifth of whiskey every day. There's going to be a physical change in the body. Anyways, in just the appearance. Man, I'm a long-winded guy. Again, where am I trying to get to? Self-restraint, instant gratification, spiritual progress. What's this book called? This one. 24 hours a day. This last line, determined to make the day a productive one, thanking God for the chance to make progress that day. That's another thing. As soon as I opened a beer, any chance for progress in a spiritual sense for that time period or that day was gone. And, that's like, forget about it. I'm doing this now. I'm getting drunk. However long it takes. And whatever. Thanking God for the chance to make progress that day. So I can get discouraged still, even now. 20 years of sobriety. And some of the same stuff. What's the 10th step say? Let's read this again. Step 10 of the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous says, continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it, period. Even after 20 years of sobriety, I'm still wrong, continually. So I do continually take an inventory and find I am still wrong here and there. I can be wrong in the same thing for days. And then finally I'm like, I've been putting the wrong name to this thing or something like that, trying to cover it up and make it easier or something, just dressing it up like it's not that bad, that kind of thing. I'm just denying that it's just a lie. So I go right back to, I'm being dishonest. Let's fix that and see if this improves. It's not that hard to be honest, really. At least not for myself anymore. Because I know the pain and the sorrow and that the lying causes, and I don't like that any longer. So I continue to take this inventory. It might be once a day. It might be once a month. Sometimes I go a couple weeks without really honestly taking a thorough whatever. I just don't look at myself, and then I'm feeling like not the best kind of guy I could be, and it's disheartening. And then I do take a look at myself. Where are we at here? 12 minutes? And I'm like, okay. It's dishonesty, let's say, for example. Maybe I can work on that. And I haven't been meditating. I haven't been praying. And all of a sudden, just a bunch of stuff starts making sense again, and I find out that, even though I'm not the person I wanted to be, at least I'm not doing the same old stuff. Well, I'm getting closer to doing the same old stuff because I stopped doing the new stuff that was keeping me sober. I got complacent and lazy. I fell into that kind of behavior because I'm not looking at myself. And I like to think that human beings, all of us, as well-intentioned as we may be, self-restraint, self-discipline, doesn't come easy. It's not like some kind of free thing that if you just wait, it's going to happen. We need to consciously think about what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how much time and energy that's taking. And is it worth it? That's this instant gratification thing. That sometimes we can work harder, longer, more, better, something like that, and not make the mark, didn't get the trophy today, we didn't complete the task today, even though we just slaved away at this thing all day, 12, 15, 18 hours, and now it's time to go to bed and you didn't accomplish your goal. Well, understand that you probably got a lot closer than you were at the beginning of the day, 12, 18 hours ago or whatever it was. And if you're still sober, good enough. in one sense. Because at least I didn't stop 30 seconds into the task and start drinking, forgetting about thanking God for the chance to make progress this day. Now, even not reaching a goal today, I try, I endeavor, I strive for, I keep working at the goal, understanding I'm making some kind of progress. I'm not sitting still any longer. And if I can make some kind of progress, maybe with the exception of actively moving backwards or further away from the goal. If I can advance towards the goal, even if it's just a wicked zigzag thing, as long as I'm not going backwards to drinking, say, and I'm staying sober and I'm working the best I know how to and as much as I can do today, going towards this goal, even if I'm swerving all over the place and making wrong turns, if I stay sober and keep pressing and going towards the goal, which is going to bed sober, that's a simple one for me. Well, it sounds simple, but I realized, becoming president of the corporation today, after getting the husband of the year, father of the year, having the fastest car in the parking lot, having all my hair come back on the top of my head, even though all those things might be possible, they're probably not all going to happen today. So I settle for a realistic one that's within my control. If I can just go to bed sober tonight, that's going to be a win. So I'm going to work on that, if nothing else. And usually I want to go to bed sober tonight while trying to attain something else. Husband of the year. I'm not even married yet, so that's a stretch. Okay, so the chance to make progress this day. We're at 17 minutes. Self-restraint. First objective will be the development of self-restraint. This wanting to pick up a drink of alcohol because it's too hard, the work. After taking a look, seeing maybe you're not where you wanted to be, there's a whole other side to this particular coin. Taking a look at where you're at, finding out you're not happy, what do? I guess you keep working at it. You don't start drinking because that would be moving backwards. So if you don't start drinking, and then you can realize, you know what, I didn't start drinking. That's progress. Not maybe spiritual perfection, which we're not after. We're after spiritual progress. And you realize that, what's the promise say from the Alcoholics Anonymous Big Book on page 80, whatever it is. The promise is, continued on page 84, we'll understand the word serenity and we'll know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That's what I'm doing here, I hope. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away, and maybe some self-restraint will slip in there. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Maybe we realize instant gratification isn't where it's at. Progression each day towards a worthy goal might be more valuable. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. How does that happen? We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. And I like thinking that that's what I can't do by myself. God can help me if I get out of the way and ask Him, or ask Him and get out of the way. He can do the things that I can't do by myself. He can help me get them done. And then all of a sudden, I can intuitively handle things that used to baffle me because I'm working with God more and more. What's step 11 say? To pray and meditate to improve our conscious contact with God as we understand Him, praying only knowledge for His will and the power to carry that out. Now, where are we at? 20 minutes. I'm untangling this part that I didn't get to in part 1. Learn not to react to my old ways. Right there, there's progress being made. And why? Very likely something we didn't see, which is that our first objective will be the development of self-restraint. If you can explain to me how becoming an inpatient in a treatment recovery center didn't involve some amount of self-restraint, I would like to hear that. Even if you took this route to get into an inpatient treatment program, which is very common, I understand, is you're going about your daily alcoholic life and something catastrophic somewhat happens, and law enforcement, which are public safety officers, get involved. They arrest that behavior. They arrest you. You're convicted of something involving alcohol, and then they need to detox you because you're just not going to feel